Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the Foreign Correspondence Club of South Asia. We are delighted to have with us Mr. Julius Pranevicius. Is that how you pronounce the name? Okay. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. He's just arrived as ambassador of Lithuania in India. They have been having an embassy for the last 10 years. The ambassador was born in 1977 in Ukmergė, Lithuania. He is married with a daughter and 2 sons. He has master's degree from the Institute of International Relations and Political Science, Vilnius University in his country. Also studied European Studies. He has a bachelor's degree from the Institute of International Relations and Political Science, again Vilnius University. He arrived recently and presented his credentials to the President of India as the ambassador of his country to India. He has earlier worked in the Consulate General of Lithuania in New York. As Consul General, he has been in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of his country, Director of European Union Department, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Director, Deputy Director of European Union Council Presidency, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, again in the European Union Department, Head Consular, First Secretary of the Institutional Affairs Division. He was a permanent representative of Lithuania to the European Union, Second Secretary, Minister of External Affairs, European Integration Department, Third Secretary, Attaché of Law Approximation Division, and he was in the, were you a member of Parliament?
No.
What is this? Senior is the Parliament in
Yes.
the country, right? Yeah.
I was like a staff officer.
Oh, okay. Chief Specialist of the Information and Analysis Division. He speaks English, French, and Russian. We are delighted to have him with us, Excellency. India is a big country, and most of the people don't know a lot about countries outside of the P5. And that's why when something happens, this may unprecedented, likely to be impeached in Washington or whatever. So we're very keen to know about your country, relations between India and Lithuania, and your place in Europe. And it's a country where per capita income is 18,000 US dollars. I think their GDP is nearly $60 billion. So it is rated as one of the countries with a very good per capita income. Excellency, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for your interest in my country. I'm really here to tell what I plan to tell about my country, but I'm more ready to answer all your questions that you might have about it. We also have a small gift, small souvenir with us, and I thought that I should give it to you in case I will be missing some of the elements on the bonds that we have between Lithuania and India. We have published a whole book about our relations, about how India did influence the philosophy of some of our key thinkers, and what an interesting connections we have between our 2 countries. So in case I will miss something, you will still have this book and you will be able to read it.
Thank you.
And to tell more about Lithuania, I'll tell you, first of all, I probably have to put it on the map, not just geographically, but geopolitically, economically, because whenever I go and I say I'm from Lithuania, People say, where? Lithuania? And I first thought that maybe it's a different pronunciation, maybe people tend to pronounce the name of my country somehow differently. I don't understand, but then finally I got that they think about the region in Punjab, and they say, oh yeah, that's where you're from. No, it's not exactly Lithuania, it's Lithuania. And Lithuania is a European country. It is situated, located in the northeast side of Europe. We are members of the European Union. But very often you will hear about us, about Lithuania, as a group of Baltic countries, 3 Baltic countries. Very often in the United States, in Europe, or somewhere in Asia, we are called as Baltic countries. So Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, we are the biggest of those 3 countries. Also, we are all very often perceived as a region, Central Eastern European region, meaning Baltic countries, also Visegrad countries like Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovenia, Slovakia, Croatia, because we have very similar historical experience. We together joined European Union, we together joined NATO, and very often we face similar challenges and we have similar opportunities. And the third geographical region that I want to talk about is Nordic Baltic, because of the geographical proximity, because of very close ties, economical and political ties between Baltic countries and Nordic countries, Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Iceland. We could be considered as part of this broader region. And indeed, very often when you have big political forums, big international meetings, you would have Baltic and Nordic ministers getting together, discussing on their position. So even here in Delhi, we do some activities together. Recently, we had Nordic Baltic Film Festival for children. So each of our countries presented one of films for children. So that's the region where we are from, but indeed we are members of the European Union, and not just European Union. We are also members of Schengen area, meaning that we can travel, work wherever we want in most of the European Union countries. And we are also members of Euro area. Euro area means that we have Euro currency as our own currency. We don't have anything else. The same currency as in France, Germany, or most of European countries. I will say more that myself, as you said from my bio, I worked most of my career with EU issues, and I'm deeply pro-European. I truly believe in the whole idea of European integration. So is my population. In Lithuania, I think we are enjoying one of the highest support for the European Union among all European countries. If you ask people in the street in Lithuania, are you happy being member of European Union? They will say, yes, we are proud, we are happy, we like European project as such. And it is not surprising. I will tell just one figure that back in 2004, when we were joining European Union, our GDP per capita was somewhere around 40% of EU average, just 40% of EU average. Today I was reading some new data. It looks that we are around 78% of EU GDP per capita average. So just imagine in 15 years the leap was closed, and we did a really impressive move forward from 40 to 78%. It's not only about the GDP per capita, it's not only about economical figures. The whole country was transformed because of the European Union. European Union as such, it's about legislation. At European level, all the countries get together and they decide what will be the rules governing agriculture, transportation, consumer protection, health issues, environment, financial market, whatever. Everything is governed by EU law. And when we wanted to join European Union, the first and the most important requirement was to align our law with the European law. So to do that, we have to change all your legislation. everything to clean and to make it in line with European laws. And once we did that, really the life in Lithuania is regulated exactly the same way as it is regulated in Germany or in some other countries because of the European Union. And still, I'm talking on purpose about the European Union so much because here in India you hear more about Brexit, you hear more about bad stories that are happening everywhere in the world. And you might have impression of European Union of something that is falling apart, doing not so well. But the situation is not like that. I was telling that Lithuanians are supporters for European integration, but we see support for European integration rising in all the continent, maybe except Britain, but in all the other countries, the support is not decreasing, it is increasing. Even more, European Union is the bloc or the entity where all the countries from the region want to be. You could ask someone from Ukraine or from Georgia or from Moldova or from Balkan countries like Macedonia, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, they all would say yes. Our dream, our goal of foreign policy is to be part of the European Union. If not to be part of the European Union, to get somehow associated with it. And it's true, very marvelous decision for 50, for 70 now almost years, that the peace and stability and prosperity is there, and the European Union doesn't undermine our culture, languages in a way. It protects us. Say yes, you can speak your language. All the new laws are translated into Lithuanian. At the meetings, my minister can speak in Lithuanian. It will be always interpreted. So, in some sense, I always tell about India for my friends in the United States or in Europe. When I say, what's India like? How you can compare with something? I say you better compare it with the European Union rather than to compare it with one country because of all the cultural, linguistic differences. And somehow still there are ideas, vision that get people from different parts of this continent together as they do also with Europe. And for us it is vital to have good relations between the European Union and India. Because when we talk with the business people, for example, here in India, we don't say please come and do business in Lithuania in the market of 3 million. We say please come and do business in the market of 500 million because we are there part of the European Union. And if we have, and I hope that one day we will have free trade agreement between India and European Union, it's not that it will be beneficial to some strange European companies. No, it will be of benefit to my companies in my country, as well as there will be a huge benefit to companies here in India. That's EU is really an important element, and not just inside of country, but also being here in India. As for the security and defense of Lithuania, I always tell that in Lithuania we have 3 Independence Days. It's a bit confusing when someone asks you, being diplomat, it's a very simple question that you might get. So when is your national day? It's not so simple. I have to tell you, we have 3 national days. And I can tell the whole history of Lithuania by telling our national days. First of all, we have 6th of July, and that's back in 13th century, 1253, when our king was crowned, and we are celebrating. That's like a day when our country, Lithuania, was established, so back in 13th century. Then for some 300-400 years, we were a big independent country. At some point, we were the biggest country in Europe, from Baltic Sea all the way to the Black Sea, what is now Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Russia. They were parts of Grand Duchy of Lithuania, the Lithuanian state. But then we were in one country with Poland, Commonwealth of Lithuania and Poland, and I'll jump to 18th century in 1795. This Commonwealth of Lithuania and Poland was divided between 3 countries, between Russia, Germany and Austria, not Germany, Prussia. And since then we were no longer existing. So we were taken, we were part of Russia's empire. And then in 1918, February 16, and here is my second national day, February 16 of 1918, when we restored our state. So that's why last year Lithuania, as well as most of the Central and Eastern European countries, were celebrating centenary, 100 years after First World War. All those countries were established. In our case, we were re-established. We restored our statehood. And the third one is 1990, when we declared independence from Soviet Union, and we were the very first country to do that. So next year, not next year, but in 2020, we will be celebrating 30 years anniversary of our most recent Independence Day. Why I'm telling you that? When you have 3 Independence Day, you think that that's enough. That's enough. We don't need any more Independence Days. We need to be sure that our defense capabilities or deterring capabilities, the security in the region is in place. And although I understand that here Russia is considered as a strategic partner, friend, and there are long-lasting relations, but what we see happening in our region, what we saw happening back in 2008 in Georgia, then in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea and the occupation parts of East Ukraine, and when we see all those hybrid attacks, cyber attacks, fake news coming, you cannot sleep well. You have to take measures to sleep well and to protect yourself. And I'm lucky that all those measures at NATO level were taken. Now we as a country, we tripled our defense budget. Now we have NATO partners, NATO alliance in our region. We have a battalion in each of Baltic countries. They are led by different countries. In Lithuania, NATO battalion is led by Germany, and we have in other Baltic countries, we have Canada and United Kingdom. So 1,000 troops. We also have American troops on the ground. At NATO level, everyone understands that we have to be present. We have to be ready to protect that part of alliance of NATO. And once you are ready to protect yourself, no one will attack you. But that's the philosophy we are following right now. And I can say that even the mindset of Lithuanians changed now. We don't take anything for granted. We say we have to be strong, we have to stand there and to protect ourselves. About the security, about the relations between India and Lithuania. Well, we were celebrating 25th anniversary since the establishment of our bilateral relations. Embassy was celebrating 10 years anniversary, and all the major agreements, all necessary steps are taken. We have wonderful relations. We cooperate not just bilaterally, but in multilateral fora as well. And now I see that there is desire, strong wish, and even push from society to cooperate even more. For example, in tourism exchange, we have now more than 1,000 tourists from India. This number might be not so impressive in absolute numbers, as you cannot tell just like 1,000 and then that's it. But in our case, after Lithuanians, Indians are the second biggest group of students after Belarus. So it's not someone from our region, but from India. And it happened in 2 or 3 years. Suddenly, out of nothing, we are having a huge group of students from India. They are good students. Our universities are happy with them. I think we had one of the students who was among top 10 students in Lithuania. So we can even get more of them. Universities are happy. Students also want to travel to Lithuania and study there because over there they get good education. Traditionally, in some areas, in life science, in IT, in engineering, Lithuanian universities, Lithuanian schools are extremely strong. And once you are there and you get your diploma, you can be sure that you receive good education. And also this diploma is well recognized all over Europe, as we are members of European Union. Those 1,000 students, they will do something after their studies. Some of them, they will come back, some of them will stay, some of them will marry, and there will be some families, some other relations. If they come back and if they one day decide to do business, they will stay and they will remember that, okay, that's the country which I know best. Why not to do this? So I have no doubt that with the 1,000 people in this Indian-Lithuanian relations market, we will have our relationship even growing further. We have huge interest from business, from both sides. People here in India understand and take Lithuania as a gateway to Europe. In some particular fields, Lithuania could certainly be your gateway to Europe. You can access European market via Germany, via Portugal, via other countries, but you can do it easily from Lithuania as well. I would love seeing tourism growing. There are all the reasons for tourists from India to travel to Lithuania, as well as from Lithuania to India. India is a very popular country among Lithuanians. We have traditional ties. You will read in these books that the philosophy and way of life is something that is fascinating. All Lithuanians, they read about India and they think it's a magic country, they should be here. So we don't have to work hard to persuade Lithuanians to travel to India. Sometimes we have to explain what you can find and what you can see in Lithuania for Indians. And I think we are doing it successfully. I hope in the future we'll have more and more students. I could also tell you about some very special personal bonds, like the one between Mahatma Gandhi and Herman Kallenbach. Herman Kallenbach, he's a Lithuanian Jewish businessman who lived in South Africa, but he was born in Lithuania.
Is that right?
Yes, he was born in Lithuania, and that's where he grew up. After some time, he emigrated to South Africa, and that's where he met Mahatma Gandhi. That's where they collaborated, and all the philosophy ideas that were created over there. I think Herman Kallenbach also has to do with them, because he was not just ideological supporter, but also a financial supporter of Mahatma Gandhi. And now to mark this soulmate cooperation, as Mahatma Gandhi called it, soulmate, we have monument in Rusnia, the statue of both Herman Kallenbach and Mahatma Gandhi, standing there discussing on something, and it's becoming a point of attraction not just for local tourists, but also for tourists from all over the world, people from Israel, from the United States, from South Africa, of course. And hopefully more and more from India will be traveling, and they will have this place in Rusnia and this monument on their itinerary. But I also wanted to say some 5 interesting things about Lithuania. When I'm talking to journalists, I shouldn't be talking so much, just 5 main issues. And some are related and some are totally not related to India, but on my way to meet you, I thought about those 5 things. First of all, I will say that we have the fastest internet in the world. It might be not so true. When you check on internet and say Googling fastest internet, you will see different countries there. But fact is that on some aspects, like penetration of fiber optic internet, or for example, the speed of public Wi-Fi, or download speed in Julius in our capital, we are certainly number 1. And that's the overall feeling when you are in Lithuania, and we say in Lithuania, internet is not luxury, it's not privilege. Internet is a human right. we take it as a human right. We didn't go that far to amend the Charter of Human Rights and to add fast internet over there, but we take it really very, very naturally. Wherever I go, and I spent 4 years in New York, I was missing Lithuanian internet. I said, no, how can you live with that? Again, everything is really easier, and that helps the whole image of IT-oriented and modern country with having good infrastructure and especially internet infrastructure. We are now going even one step further in getting more and more engaged with blockchain technologies. In Lithuania, we have established probably the very first blockchain center in Europe. So we have one in Asia now, we have one in the United States, I think, and there's more and more blockchain centers, but first in Europe was established in Lithuania. The companies that are doing some activities and they want to be more involved in blockchain technologies, they often go to Lithuania. Second thing, I don't know if they are related somehow, but probably they are related somehow. The fast internet, and out of all European languages, Lithuanian language is the most common language to Sanskrit. I don't know how it happened, or maybe there are some explanations.
European languages.
Yes, but all European languages are part of Indo-European languages. But it happens so that Lithuanian language is the most similar to this Proto-Indo-European language. It was so during all the history that I was just telling to you that very often our language was oppressed. People couldn't talk, and if we were taken by some foreign powers, then the elite would switch to either Polish or to Russian or to other languages. But this Lithuanian language was preserved deep in the village and rural areas. Farmers would all the time speak this language. No matter what, they would do that. And in that sense, the language somehow got conservated. The structures, the words, they are the same from the ancient times, as well as they are in Sanskrit. And now when you see that we have even, we published a small dictionary of words that sound similar or are exactly the same between Lithuanian language and Sanskrit. We have all those words like dievas, diev, like vyras, vyr, like I don't know, sapnas, like what else do we have? Sunus, son, 100 of different words that you use, dumas, smoke. They are the same, or they sound the same in Lithuanian language and in Sanskrit. Even the construction of language is the same. So that's a fascinating thing. A lot of scholars, both in India and in Lithuania, they are working hard to find out how it happened and why it happened. But it's really true and interesting connection. I had read in old papers from Lithuania that it means only one thing, that we are from India, we Lithuanians, but then you get to different stories that no people came from that side of the world. So I don't know, from somewhere someone came, but probably we Lithuanians and Indians were somewhere in a similar geography. The third interesting fact I wanted to tell you is about basketball. If you ask Lithuanians what's your favorite sport, so no doubt number 1, number 2, number 3, and even number 4 sport would be basketball. Everyone is crazy when we say basketball. It's not just a sport in Lithuania, it's religion. Being a country of 3 million, we were three times champions of Europe, 3 times got bronze in the Olympic Games. We have a couple of medals at World Cups. And everyone in Lithuania knows how to play basketball. Everybody knows about basketball. It's important. If you want to see some particular unique elements of the country, basketball would definitely be that. And everyone will tell you how Lithuanians beat Americans in basketball. It's even political. When we were part of Soviet Union and the resistance was already there. Everyone said, no, we have different identity. We are Lithuanians. We have to prove it. Those final matches between Kauno Žalgiris, Lithuanian most popular team, and the Moscow team was something like it's not about basketball, it's like about politics. Everyone went and the basketball players were like dying. They were fighting really hard, and then we were successful in some cases. And then I also wanted to say about some very modern thing that would be the fourth element is fintech. Fintech is becoming is a keyword now in our IT, and not just IT but in economical world. With our country, Lithuania, being member of Euro area and having Euro as the currency. Now, if any company from India, let's say, want to establish themselves in the Euro area and there to give loans or do some financial transactions, you need to get special permission from one of the central banks in Europe. And it could be any bank from any country that has Euro as their currency. And Lithuanians, we saw it as a huge opportunity that we might establish ourselves as a fintech hub. Our central bank, our finance ministry is the most forthcoming. They would be ready to present the numbers, how long does it take to get this license in one country or another, and you will see that Lithuania is the fact. How costly it is to get it in one or another country than in Lithuania is the fastest. And if you see from what is growing most, so fintech is really growing most. We have now special cooperation with Singapore, a special cooperation with some Chinese fintech companies that are coming to Lithuania. And that's, fintech is a wonderful example of us, not just us Lithuania, but Lithuania as member of European Union. Being that doing fintech in Lithuania doesn't mean that you are doing it in Lithuania. You can do all the financial services in all European, in all Euro area. And the fifth and last thing, what I wanted to say is that although we are celebrating 25 years anniversary of our diplomatic relations, but very soon we will be celebrating 400 years since first Lithuanian, registered Lithuanian came to India. It happened in 1625, I think, on missionary Jesuit from Vilnius, Andrius Rudamina. He came and he served there at the Christian monastery in Guam. And he was the registered first Lithuanian who entered this soil, and since then, some traces of Lithuania is already there. We have more similar stories. We just found that one prominent bishop in Kerala, Varapuja, Motiejus, so what's the family name of Motiejus, the bishop?
Okay. Šostakas.
Šostakas, very good. Motiejus Šostakas, one more Lithuanian, he was there working as bishop for almost 20 or 30 years in the 18th century, and he's very much respected when we came there. Everybody said, now we know him very well, although that was some time ago, but what he did there, the traces are still there. Now we have the monument for him. So these are 5 points, and these are stories from my country, but I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions or your remarks or suggestions.
Thanks, Excellency. Lithuania is often described as the Baltic tiger because of your success and how you did grow and lifestyle and all that. What is the secret of your success? Is it because population is relatively small, unlike India, which is 1.35 billion?
Yes, I would say that when you are small, you are more flexible. It's much easier. I was telling about the transformation of the country. I don't imagine that happening in any big entities. And in countries like Lithuania, I was then part of our accession to European Union team, and I would know everyone from different ministries. We would meet together and we discuss how we do things and do it fast. Be prompt. We don't need to go into long discussions and do things. But when you have administration small, when you have a small country, it's there. But the core of the success, the instrument of success, I would definitely repeat our membership in European Union. Being in the like, if someone comes to you and say these are the rules that you have to apply and you will be successful, simply just adopt those rules. And plus you add being in common market. You don't have any tariffs. You have free movement of persons, free movement of goods, free movement of services. Do it like in one country, no restriction whatsoever. So it's really easy for business if you produce something, and European market is a good market to sell and to not to export, but you don't even call it export because you do it within your own market. The European Union even does some cohesion policy where they would say that we need to support some areas if some areas are doing better and some are lagging behind, so we should support them. We got that support, and with that support, for example, we established top-notch excellency centers in life science, for example, or in some other some IT sectors, where you have next to universities, you have big laboratories, and you have scientists, you have scholars, you have businessmen coming, and all those facilities, they were built very recently, and they were built with EU funding. But the most important thing is people, of course, people. And with us, Lithuanians, especially in the last century, we suffered a lot. We saw those wars. We saw like disappearing of part of our society. Lithuanian Jews were almost 90% killed during the Second World War. We saw big deportations to Siberia. We saw a lot of our country leaving and going to live in the United States or somewhere else, and the whole country oppressed, and the resistance was there. Like, very, very difficult times. But then, you know, when you talk with grandparents and with others, they would say these times were when we found out that we have to be well educated, we have to follow our Lithuanian traditions and be ready that one day we will be free. So in Lithuania you have very well educated population. I think the number is around 90% with higher education. You have people who speak different languages. You also have people that are traditionally focused on the STEM sciences, on the life science, on IT, on engineering, on all the technological education. And with that population, you can easily do things.
The trade agreement between India and the European Union has been going on for, I don't know, decades. When do you think that's going to happen? What exactly is the problem? Why are you not able to sort it out? What are the...
you mean the trade agreement?
Yeah.
I hope that negotiations will be resumed one day, and you need the will from both sides. You need some push from Indian side and also from European side to say that yes, we need to start talking again.
It's ongoing. It's already ongoing. There are
Negotiations.
ongoing discussions.
Yeah.
It is not that it is stopped.
They are discussing about relaunching negotiations. Like the formal, it's not negotiations on itself, but they are discussing what should we do to start negotiations again. Because negotiations, they were happening and they just stopped. There were some requirements from European Union, and we have in European Union our own understanding, European understanding how the free trade deal should be made, and that there should be some special elements in those free trade, not just having to do with trade, but maybe with some more broader social, political issues. We have in European Union good experience in getting in those deals with other regions, other countries, so there's a certain pattern. And EU is biggest. EU is your biggest trading partner.
Yeah.
EU is biggest investor in India. It's the place where Indians go, where tourists go from India. So understanding is there that we need to be there, but all the sides have to somehow adjust their expectations and start off in the end. I'm one of those who say that you cannot achieve anything like that, blaming a particular country, saying we don't have deal because Indians are requiring this or that, or that Europeans are doing this. I think that both sides have to sit together. Now, with the political cycle, we will have elections very soon here in India, and European Union 2019 is again the time when European Commission will change, where the new European Parliament will be elected, we'll have new President of European Council. So all those institutional changes are also happening. Maybe that will also give one additional impact. But from both sides, from European side and from Indian side, I think we should be there standing and telling to our colleagues and to our politicians that it is important, and it is important equally for India as for Europeans. To do trade with such a big market as the European Union. I mean, it's not that big in numbers there with Europe, but the purchasing power is one of the highest.
Well, Your Excellency, you were just mentioning that you wanted to increase tourism.
Yes.
Do you have direct flight from India to your country?
No, unfortunately, we don't have direct flights. So that's that might be a problem for some, but
Are you planning for that? Are you planning?
I would love, but to start planning that, we need to already have some numbers. Once you have those numbers going, then you can say you can approach airlines saying that we have enough passengers to fill once a week or twice a week or twice a day. Then it will work like that. But so far we don't have these numbers. That's the problem. But all the problems, they are also opportunities, challenges. In our case, although you don't have direct flight, but for example, maybe it's not necessary to go and visit just Lithuania. Why not to come and visit all Baltic countries? Why not to come and visit? Because when you look at there are 3 countries, but in 5 hours you can easily get from one capital to another. So why not to do that? Why not to travel, for example, to Helsinki, Finland, where you have direct flight, and from Helsinki to do a nice trip via Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, maybe even visiting Warsaw, and from Warsaw flying back. I'm not sure what Warsaw is here, but from we would normally go via Helsinki or via Ukraine or Moscow or Istanbul. And now we will have one more direct flight to Iceland. It's again our region, Baltic Nordic. I really do encourage all the time everyone who is interested. Of course, there's plenty to do in just Lithuania. You can go there and stay for a week or for a month, relax, especially for those who are nature lovers, to be there in peace and calm lakes. It's, for example, June or May, very nice weather. It's not hot, not cold. You can really enjoy it at that time of the year. And we have all those spa tourism, we have short seaside, and we have some very nice cities like our capital, Vilnius. So it's plenty to do in just one country, but if you decide to go and visit broader region, it's fine.
This time is cold. This time is cold.
This
Your country is cold.
Very
Yeah.
cold.
Very cold.
No, it's not cold. It's never cold. It's only, it can be bad clothing. Only one problem. But it's now we have very nice winter. We have snow over there, and I was reading last week that we had a feels like temperature -17. So.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Bonjour, comment allez-vous? United Nations Human Development Index has listed Lithuania as a very high human development country. So, would you like to give a little focus on this, on the human development index of the United Nations?
could not explain that, and I don't know very well the methodology, how do they calculate that, but
As I think one thing you have now you defined a very high standard of the human rights.
Yes.
You included the net as a part of the human
Yes,
rights.
yes,
It's
yes.
a very
yes, but for us, for Lithuanians to adjust to comply with all the standards of United Nations, as well as with the European, although with as well with the OECD, for example, which we just recently joined. It's a very nice external push that, you know, these are the rules and you have to do it. You don't invent your own, and we don't invent our own human rights understanding, for example. We take what is there agreed at United Nations level or at the European Union level, and we follow that. To have all the institutions in place, to have our judicial reform in place, maybe that's not something we should be so proud of, but we didn't invent anything. We took this European model and we implemented it. And it seems it works, and it is recognized. It is recognized in that aspect, as it is also recognized in some other aspects, as the ease of doing business, or as the free competition in the country. In all those things, we are doing really well. It's you know, for us and for some Lithuanians, it's even a bit striking when you live there and you live there for some time and you think that, oh, all those problems are there. I'm still not happy. I would like to have my retirement money bigger. I would like to do this or that. And you look at your external evaluation. You look what people talk about you or how you look in the numbers. You suddenly discover that Lithuania is among the 20 or 20 or 40 most prosperous or best countries or best performing countries on different aspects. So it's really good feeling.
How confident are you about the European Union after Brexit?
I'm still confident. Brexit is not something what we like. We like Britain in European Union for many reasons. Because we are in that bloc, we are always close to Brexit. Whenever we had some internal discussions on what European Union should be doing, how European Union should be evolving, what European Union foreign policy even should have on some countries. In many aspects, many cases, we were thinking like United Kingdom, and we were there in one block. So to lose this important ally, to lose this power, it's really hard. There are many Lithuanians who live, who work, who study in the United Kingdom, who also care about what will happen with them. So, like, we take it as something sad, but you know, that's the truth. They decided, and that's what they are doing. However, I don't think that that will trigger more problems in Europe, that Europe will collapse.
When your people are working in UK,
Yes.
so after Brexit, they were working in UK under the European law,
Yes.
taking that facilities. So after Brexit, what will happen to your people who are working there in UK?
It depends a lot what agreement we will have. If we will have this agreement that it is on the table, they will work there and they will remain there, then nothing will change in their life. If we will end up with hard Brexit, as they talk now, then you never know what will happen. What will be the legal situation, and I cannot imagine. But you know what, I just wanted to add also one thing, as I was telling that from 2003, before we joined the European Union, I was already there in our mission to European Union and participating at the EU decision making. And my impression is that ever since then, 2003 and now we have 2018, we always have some kind of crisis, some kind of problem. We never had a life in Europe that would say, yeah, it's easy, relax, nothing is happening. either you have this kind, or you have some external things, or you have some constitutional dilemmas, or you have some failed referendums, or you have some debt crises. Something is always there. And European Union is a unique structure that manages somehow to either internally or externally cope with those problems. And the resilience is already there, somehow built in the whole structure of European Union. So although it might not sound like something very logical that I could say why European Union will remain, but my feeling is and strong hope that the EU as a project will remain. And the EU as a project is a good example, not for just even for this part of the world. The whole idea how you can integrate countries, how you can make countries work together, live together, trade together without feeling that someone is there on your top, someone is regulating your life. It's a wonderful thing.
Otherwise, the Prime Minister has already confirmed it on the floor, British Prime Minister. Status quo will continue.
Yeah. That's
But
all.
There is nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Even after
Well, it is yet to be negotiated. It has been said,
there is a
but
difference
nothing,
between few MPs, but she has already spoken on the floor and she has won the competition.
Yes, spoken on
She
the-
will have more stronger.
Yeah.
but still,
She was.
Ashok,
negotiation.
I can tell you, we had long negotiations. I think it lasted 2 years. And that was one of the most complex negotiations. And in some sense, we understand those negotiations very well because we went opposite. We went accession negotiations. We went through accession negotiations when we applied back in 2000, we started negotiations in 2001, I think, or 2000, and then we went all through every segment how we will be part of the European Union. Now they are doing totally opposite. In different sectors, what shall we do, what we shall not do. And the deal is already there. The deal is on every single issue, there is a decision.
On every single
Yeah, on every single small issue, well, I cannot say every small, they
We just
decided
made a statement.
on some framework and then others will be decided. But the problem is if this deal will be refused by any part. If UK will say no, and if UK will be obliged to say no because of some internal problems. And then what happens next? Then you are leaving European Union without a deal. And what does it mean? There you can have all the analytics and all the experts who would tell what does it mean, but no one knows exactly what does it mean.
It is not that simple,
No.
because she has just made a statement on the floor of the House. But maintaining the status could mean, in all practical sense,
Yeah.
then being part of the European Union. But it is not so. It is a very complicated negotiation.
Ambassador, this is connected to India and the European Union. So when are we going to get wines from European Union at reasonable prices? And when are our IT boys going to be allowed to work in European Union in large numbers? So that's going to be possible only if the agreement is
I
signed.
should have your Minister of Commerce sitting next to me and explaining that, or I don't know whether the Minister, but that depends on tariffs, what you will have for wines. All the wine producers in Europe would love having smaller tariffs and exporting their wines to India. It's a huge market, and I think one day we'll have wines that will cost not that much. It's probably one of those sensitive issues. Alcohol, agricultural stuff, and recognition of the free movement of persons. We are always part of the free trade deal. So, although we see more and more Indian guys working in IT sector in different companies in Lithuania, now we will have Indian company. HCL, one of big providers of work. They took over Barclays. There was Barclays Bank, they have their own service center in Lithuania, and they were providing IT support to all the Barclays banks in Europe. But now they left that work for HCL and the senior company. So they will have 400 of our working in Lithuania. Probably we'll have more and more Indians working in IT sector, not just Lithuania and other European countries, and that's good.
Yeah, let's hope the agreement will be in place sooner than we suspect. And it's a very pleasant interaction. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for gracing this event. In appreciation of our visit, we are delighted to offer you the honorary membership of the club.
Oh, thank you.
We also have one more gift for you, Excellency. This is our 6th year here since FCC came into existence, and we have specially designed cup to observe our 6th year anniversary. And,
I was looking at it.
so this is a gift for you from the FCC
Thank you.
in memory of your visit to our club. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting us.